Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, and it's time for another video. Now, normally on a Tuesday, we have the Magic News. The Magic News is going to be moved to later on in the week. I've had to guess. I think it's probably going to be Thursday this week, maybe Friday, probably Thursday. The reason I've moved the Magic News a couple of days on is because I wanted this video to come out today, because this video is all about Your Round by myself and Mark Bennett, brought out through MB Magic, and it is launching through Murphy's today. And this is going to be an expose on Your Round, and I wanted this to be up when the trick hits the market, so you know whether or not you want to buy it or not. As you guys know, I typically expose every single trick that I bring out because I want you guys to know 100% if the trick that I bring out is right for you or not. And so that's what this video is going to be. It's going to be an expose on Your Round, including a little interview with Mark, and also there's going to be some live performances as well. So there's going to be a lot going on in this video. Now, for those of you that don't know, Your Round is a trick with beer mats. You get all of these beer mats. You get 6 beer mats altogether, I believe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 6 beer mats, and using these 6 beer mats, you can basically predict or read the mind of anybody and tell them which drink they're thinking of. And you're going to see some live performances later on to my friend Rachel. Rachel works in the office with me. She has no clue about magic, and I thought she'd be a good person to perform with us to because she likes drinking. Now, this came out at the Blackpool Magic Convention. I think it was either close to a sellout, it was an actual sellout, and a lot of people picked it up. If you didn't pick it up at Blackpool, that's fine. People have been waiting for this to come out since Blackpool, and it's took till now to get the props over to Murphy's. Now that Murphy's have the props, it's ready to go. It's going to be launched later on today. But to everyone who picked this up at Blackpool from Mark's stand, thank you very much. So I'm not going to say any more. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to cut to this interview with Mark Bennett, and this interview is going to tell you everything that you need to know about Your Round. So let's cut to this interview first of all. I sat down with Mark Bennett and we talked about Your Round. So I am here with no stranger to the Magic TV channel, a very good friend of mine, somebody I consider to be one of the, if not the top comedy magician in the world. It depends whether I'm speaking to him or Alan Hudson at the time, but he's definitely right up there. The owner of Smoke and Mirrors, somebody who has probably done more than anybody else in the UK to help magicians get on stage and actually go and perform. The owner of MB Magic, just an all-round nice guy. The one and only Mark Bennett. Your list of accomplishments get longer and longer and longer every single time.
Applause. We need some background applause music there, don't we? And a little curtain that opens up. That's what we're looking for, aren't we?
I'll try and make that happen.
Should have filmed this at Smoke and Mirrors, shouldn't we? So.
We really should have. Then we would have had everything. But how you doing, mate? Are you well?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right. I know you've just come back from working with Penguin again, and a nice little break as well, which is well deserved.
Yeah. I was over there for a couple of weeks, and the second week the family were with me, and Rye was performing in the in the P3 theatre. But I was over there filming some stuff. I've got some really great things coming out with Penguin in the next year. So yeah, some really good stuff. A lot of key related magic. Me and Penguin spend a lot of time doing stuff with keys, which is weird.
See, I'm going down a different route. We just spoke about this, but I'm going down a different route. So
that is one of the funniest tricks that I've ever seen in my life. When somebody's now going to screen capture that and blow it up and look at what that is, and when you see anything that involves a coin with Mark Bennett's name come out, you want to pick that up. It is one of the funniest things I've seen. You were telling me about it. I was like, I would have that in my pocket that would be an everyday carry. Fuck the rest of everyday carry. That is everyday carry. That is something that I would have with me all the time. It's really
it's a little collaboration between myself and Chris Congreve. And but we got some other collaborations coming up as well, which is really nice, and we're working on those as well. So we're doing I've got loads of little projects on the go at the moment. But we're here to talk about our project.
We are talking about our project. Let me ask you one question, actually, as you brought up the collaborations before we talk about our project. As the owner of MB Magic, and so you've produced stuff for lots of other people, including, you've worked with Matt Wright in the past, Jamie Williams, myself, as well as like bringing out some incredible magic yourself. What makes you team up with other production companies? Because obviously, you talk about Chris Congreve, he's got his own production company, Stella Magic Shop, right? And I know that there's other magic companies that you're partnering up with as well. Is that kind of a diversification thing? Is that
I think it's there's a point where I get to a point of an idea and I think, oh, I get kind of a little bit stuck in some respects. And I know there's a couple of people I want to talk to and to say, oh, what do you think about this? Because obviously we know Chris Congreve is probably the king of packet tricks, isn't he? So he's the king of the packet guy. And and I had this this idea. It was about a year and a half ago, and we started talking about something, and I thought, well, it'd be really quite nice if having something, you know, all slotted in. And I thought the person I could talk to about this is Chris Congreve. And then as we've been talking, there's other ideas have come out, and he's gone, oh, what about this one? And he goes, oh, you and he said to me, you're the guy to do this because you're the coin guy, the designer of the coin guy. So he goes, do you want to do this one together? Because I got this idea, you're the coin guy, and I think it would work really well. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool, but we're still doing this project. So, oh yeah, we're still doing that project as well. So we're still working on that project. And then other little side projects come along. Matt and I are still doing the Noble 52 stuff, etc. as well, because it's a good brand. It's a very posh brand. It's really, really nice. You know, we've got the Noble one coming out this year, which is just, it would have been out sooner, but you can't really make the sea go any quicker. So it's on a boat somewhere, you know? And we're just hoping for that to land soon. But a few people have already picked it up and absolutely love it. Obviously,
great.
for myself, I've got a project coming out with Alakazam, which is really exciting because it's, you know, I'm an organic kind of guy, so I love organic stuff. And this one, as I think, is you can't get any more organic, really. I think this is a really, you know, the one I've come up with Peter. This is really nice. I think it's going to fit in everyone's pocket and a little everyday carry for everybody. And I think, you know, I'm excited that hopefully that will come out during the summer, just before the summer hits, hopefully.
That's amazing. And obviously, you've got other stuff coming out in the future with MB Magic as well. And you're constantly developing stuff and constantly coming up with new ideas. Every time I see you, you've got like 5 or 6 things that you're working on, which is just.
Yeah, my little 3D, I've blurred background, but my 3D printer's constantly going. My desks are covered with sticky tape and all this kind of stuff and bits and bobs, because I kind of like sit down. I got one that I've shelved for the moment, but I think it's not going to be the biggest seller in the world, but it's something that I want for myself. And I know there's probably around about another 10 performers that want one. But it's getting it to a point of, because the 10 people that will want it, it needs to work completely and all the time. So it's a very slow project for me to get it, but no one's in a rush to have it. And obviously we've got Airflight that is that did really well at Blackpool, and it's that's the rerun is just happening now, so that hopefully will land in the end of April, hopefully beginning of May, which again, you know, I think Magic Singh did it the other day on his social media channel with a £1 million ring. I was just thinking to myself, like, oh my God, you know, even myself, I was just like, oh my God, let's hope this, and it, you know, it pulled off. It looks fantastic. And I think it is, you know, it's an AirTag at the end of the day. That's what it is. And
Yeah, exactly.
And I hope, you know, I'm not saying, and I say this to everybody, they say, oh, you know, what's it like to Dave Bonsal's? I guess it's nothing, mine is nowhere near Dave Bonsal's. You know, I mean, the guy is the market leader and it is the best. And I'm not telling anybody to say, oh, you should get rid of this. But for people who want to get into it and the younger people who don't have a car, this is a perfect thing to have on your keys. And also as well, it's something you can always have on you whenever you want to perform a ring flight. So, but yeah, so keep an eye out for that. So that's still going as well. So yeah, lots and lots of bits and bobs, and obviously still running the bar with the theatre. I've just told one of your pupils, Jay Blunt, that he's going to be starting on the stage at Smoke and Mirrors, and we're going to hone him to become one of the house magicians. And he's super excited. He's already the guidance I've already given him, he's already taken on board and actually implemented it, which is brilliant. I had a chat with him last night, and he goes, so just a very quick conversation with him. I told him to go and watch stand-up comedy, and I goes, just your initial thoughts. What did you think? And he goes, well, there's loads of different ways to tell comedy. That's what I didn't realize. You know, I saw about 8 comedians, and they told different stories in different ways. And he goes, like, there was one person with a monologue, somebody was an observation, somebody was just reeling off little gags off a sheet of paper, and all that kind of stuff. And he said, but the person at the headliner, you know, it was just so funny. He just like, it was just like, it's just like that off his head. And I went, no, it wasn't. You know, it wasn't. This is the whole point of comedy. It's just like it's that timing of it. It feels like it's the first time you've ever said it. And he goes, and that's where we need to get you with your magic. It's like, oh, this is the first time I'm performing it, but you do it flawlessly. You know what I mean? It's everything that's in there. And he's like, oh, right, I get it. Oh, okay. So it's really nice. He's only in the beginning of his journey of us sitting down and working out where we're going to take him and how we're going to get there. And he'll have 10 to 15 minutes each week to work with myself and Richard Newman, and then a bit with Dan, and then hopefully to get him up to his 35. So it's excited to get him going.
That's awesome. Like I said at the beginning, you help so many people in this industry. You really do.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. This one's because he's passionate. He's really, you know, he wants to learn. And that's the good thing. That's the thing. It's not like, oh, I'm going to become a stage magician now. It's not. No, we approached him and said, I think you should give this a go. You know, you've been doing Smoke and Mirrors now for a year and a half, doing the close up. You've become more relaxed and more chilled about the approach, etc. When you're going up to people, you know, you're a likable person. And let's have some fun on the stage now. Let's give you a little spot.
Now I know what I've been going wrong. You got to be a likable person. Damn it. Right. Shit. Information I could have used 30 years ago, mate.
I pretend, you know, I pretend to be a likable person. I think they like me.
It's amazing. That's amazing. And we're going to talk about the trick now, but I will tell everybody here, if you find yourself in Bristol and you want to see an amazing show, go to Smoke and Mirrors. It is literally my favorite venue to perform in. I love
and we love having you. We love it. And we almost had you, but somebody else had already booked you.
I was already booked. So my loss is never Phoenix's gain. That's all I can say. However, let's talk about beer mats.
Yes.
Because we're here to talk about this little bad boy, Your Round. Now, before we even go any further, I will tell you, on the box that you just saw there, did you see a European flag and a Union Jack? The reason is there are 2 versions of this. There is an American version for our friends over in America, and there is a UK/European version for everybody this side of the pond. So we've got you covered. And if you're in Australia, fuck you.
No, they've got Fosters, I think.
That's all they drink, isn't it? Just Fosters. That's it.
Do you know what? I've just alienated every single Australian in the world now. Like, we don't even drink. We sold it to you.
But in all seriousness, those 2 sets pretty much cover every single country.
Yeah, I think all the brands that are on there, they are world-known brands.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about, first of all, what it is briefly, and then we'll talk about the history behind it and why people should pick it up. And, you know, I'm going to be very, very honest about this, and I know you're happy to be very, very honest about it as well. So Your Round, the basic effect is, the basic effect is that you can, in a very organic way, give the impression that you're reading somebody's mind and telling them the drink that they are going to be thinking of. So they have a free choice, apparently, of any drink. And even though they have a free choice of any drink, you're immediately able to tell them the drink that they are thinking of. In fact, you can even predict ahead of time the drink that they're thinking of, because there's lots of different ways of doing this that we cover on the tutorial. Yes. But what it is it's I think we can talk about. I'm going to go very in depth with this later on, but I think we can be quite honest with this, can't we? Can't we? Yeah. So this is the binary system built into beer mats, and the kind of history behind this is I hang out at Smoke and Mirrors all the time. I'm either there as a punter, I'm there as a performer, or I'm there filming projects because it is my favorite place to film projects for various different companies. So I'm at Smoke and Mirrors all the time. And ages ago, you and I sat down, and it was like, well, we should do a trick together. And I think I said, wouldn't it be really cool if it was no, you said it'd be great if it was a bar trick, because obviously Smoke and Mirrors is a bar.
And I remember saying that because we were behind stage, and I just said, well, I've got the beer mat I've got at the moment, where the punters see it, and they've got like the grey elephant from Denmark on there. There's the 1089 on there. There's the bar mat that we had in the bar all the way around, was little tricks that people could do within the thing, but also the magician had a little bit more. He could do more tricks with those beer mats, the thing. And you went, well, that's it then. That's it. Let's do a beer mat one, but for magicians only. So it's only for magicians. And then your round was born. Because I think, and I was saying, I had an idea of with the products, and you went, well, got it. And your mind, Craig, obviously, I think you probably had about 90,000 tricks in there, but you focused in on one and said, why didn't we do the binary system with the beer mats? Because they are organic. They're beer mats. They are actual beer mats. They're high quality beer mats. They're, the ones that you would. They're not the ones that you get from your local supplier down the road. It's just, we'll do some ones really thin card. These are nice, good, nice, solid that Foster's or Carling would make for their own products. So yeah.
And we'll talk about the quality of them in a minute. But first of all, the reason I love this, first of all, the binary system is one of my favorite principles. One of the very first things that I filmed at Smoke and Mirrors was ED Seat, which came out a couple of years ago now, which was the binary system built into receipts, which I know a lot of people use, a lot of people love. I actually think in many ways, your round has advantages over any other binary system type product for a few different reasons, which I think it'd be worth getting into. But first of all, if you don't know what the binary system is, you've probably seen it on something like calculator cards. If you remember the old Powerball 60 by Bill Abbott and Richard Sanders, it's typically done with numbers. And the idea is that you would have like 5 or 6 cards with different numbers on them. You'd have somebody think of a number. They'd go through the cards with numbers on, divide them into 2 piles, a pile that does have their number and a pile that doesn't. And just in the process of doing that, you immediately know what their number is, and you can tell them the number. And the reason you know what the number is because of that's basically how the binary system works. The problem with the original binary system is I don't think doing it with numbers is a particularly great idea, because there's so many lay people that at Christmas open their Christmas crackers and they have their little Christmas cracker number card.
I think Powerball 60 is probably the most. It was the most obvious one, but actually it wasn't, because it was very well hidden in some respects, and it did pop out, and it was loads of magicians were performing it, and it was around about Christmas time they put it away, obviously, just in case, that walking around the corporate table and everyone's got crackers on, you just see like, oh Christ, they got the right, okay, let's not do that table. They've got I can see what they've just got out of their cracker. But I think hiding it in plain sight is has been one of the ones of, like, EDC was definitely, it was very hidden in the plain sight for people to use. But then also as well, it's one of those ones of like, well, how else can you manipulate it into something else that you into an organic piece of magic? And that's what we came up with what I quite like about it is that they just look like this would be in a bar. And that's what I like about them. These should be in a bar. They should be available and ready to go.
Now, I'll say something, a couple of things about this that I absolutely love. And later on, when this video is finished, I'm going to do like a little expose thing and I'm going to talk about how it all works and everything. But first of all, the fact that we're using logos instead of numbers, instead of words, they're logos of beer companies. Well, drinks companies, not just beer companies. I love the fact that they're logos. Nobody thinks that this is the binary system, but also you designed these. I said, let's do the binary system. You then went away and you designed them, and you designed them absolutely beautifully. They look like the sort of thing that you would have in a bar because each one of them has just got random drinks on each side. But because we made them double-sided, they can shuffle them, they can turn them around any way they want to. It looks like there's more drinks on there than there actually are because there's 31 drinks, but it feels like there's like when I put
I think all our patter is about 40 to 50 drinks on these things, and every time we're doing the patter, even with the extra bit of the your round, which we'll discuss in a bit, is it does like there's 40 or 50 drinks on there. And they're doing it, and obviously no one's going to count them and get them all the way around, etc. when they're looking for their product, etc. And this is what I liked about it, of like, and what I was quite conscious of just basically of where we were going to put the drinks all mixed around, and the idea of this card here of having them grouped into sections or as a price list really made sense to me, of being a bar owner and being a barman, of like that's how it would be done. And the drink supplier that sent these out, they just wanted to push these for Christmas. These are the drinks that they were trying to push for Christmas, and all of the wording is just like, I picked this up from a convention. I was doing a trade show for Diageo or wherever. You've got so many scopes of saying, why do you have these beer mats? And even at home, you've got a home bar, and a lot of people made a lot of home bars during the pandemic, and people probably still have them. And you've got the summer coming up, having these on your home bar just dotted around and people putting their drinks on, you gather them up, and it's just like people aren't going to think anything untoward why you have the binary system on these beer mats.
They're not. And the other thing I love about it as well is a lot of the time with the binary system, you obviously need to know the numerical value of each thing. So when I did ED Seat, I put the numerical value on the back as a barcode, which was fine, worked really, really well. But it means that you have to look for that number. That number has to be there. The great thing about these is there's no numbers on them at all, because we went down the route of having them color coded. If you show them again, you'll see that each one has got a different color around the outside, and we made that color very, very visible. So because each one's got a number, that tells you immediately your numerical value. So for example, if for example, Mark was holding the red one, the orange one, and the yellow one, I know that that has a numerical value of 7. Immediately, I know that's got a numerical value of 7, which is brilliant. You don't need to look for numbers. You don't even need to look at what they're doing. You can have them just put them away in their pocket and just look at the ones that are left. And because you see the colors immediately, you don't need to pick something up and look at it and look for a number. It's so organic. It really is. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is the idea of having an extra beer mat, because normally with the binary system, you have to have a crib. And if you know EDC, I put the crib on the back of a credit card, and it means that you have to bring the credit card out in play in order to look at it at some point. The cool thing about this is we built the crib into the presentation, and the crib is on an extra beer mat, which Mark is showing right now, which is purple in color. And your brilliant idea of putting your round on one side. If you lift it up a bit, because we can't, there you go. So it's your round on one side, but on the other side, it's a price list. And it's a price list of all of the drinks. But what's so cool about that is it has those drinks in numerical value, and every fifth one is asterisked. and it looks just like and that was your idea as well, which is brilliant. It looks like a proper price list, but the presentation for this, and you'll see a performance later on, the presentation of this for the main routine is you put this your round to one side or give it to someone to hold on to. You have someone think of a drink, they go through the process, and then immediately you say, you take this your round back and you go, well, on the other side, it's actually a price list. I want you to look up your drink and look at how much it costs. But in the action of saying, I want you to look up your drink, you're actually staring at the crib. The crib is there. You're staring at it, and you don't need to remember anything, because when you're looking at the crib, because this asterisk, you can immediately go straight to their drink, and you can look at what the price of their drink is. So you know the price of their drink before they even know the price of their drink, and you know their drink immediately. So you can then go, okay, think of it. You can reveal the drink. You can reveal the price. You can get really creative with it and talk about, okay, taste the drink. What does it taste like? Oh, it's definitely the spirit. You can go through so many different ways. And honestly, Mark, I think when you're dealing with adults, especially at a corporate gig or a private party or a wedding, and you know you're going to do some mind reading, you know, reading their mind and telling them the drink that they're going to pick, that's ridiculously strong.
The thing is that what's quite nice about this as well is, especially if you're working in a bar like for us, I've done it where I've seen what their drink is, and obviously we stock all these products in our bar anyway, except for Carling actually. So if it's Carling, I can't do it. Carling, who stocks Carling? But anyway, and I've done because I'm just going to write down something like this, going to say, oh, no, that's not right, or this, and I'll throw a little bit of a notepad. Listen, member of bar staff pick it up and throw it in the bin, but they don't. What they did is they went and made the drink, and then brought it back over and said, "Oh, Mark, did you? Sorry, I forgot to. You asked for this earlier," and just in a little bit of byplay of time. And then it goes, oh, sorry, that must be yours. And, you know, you hand it to them and they've had a Malibu and Coke. Just have a sniff, you know, Jesus, oh my God, you had a Malibu and Coke, didn't you? Yeah, that would be £6.50, please. You know, but it's nice. You know, I don't do that very often because it costs me money every time I'm doing it, obviously.
Talk about
but it's a fun little, especially because I work in a bar. I know Russ Brown picked up one of these for House of Secrets. And his bar staff are now performing it, which is fantastic. So, because they wanted a magic trick to perform for themselves, so now his bar's manager is now performing your round at House of Secrets. So she's got her own little magic trick that she can do from bar, which is nice. This is perfect.
That's brilliant. That is absolutely amazing. And that you made, I mean, you designed the beer mats. They look absolutely fantastic. They fit into your pocket. If you're going around and you're doing, here's the advantages of this routine. First of all, no table is required, no memory is required. There's ways of doing it where there's no maths required. There's lots of different, we'll talk about that in a second. But it's instantly reset, it's examinable, and all you need for the props are just these 5 beer mats. You throw them in your pocket and you're good to go. That's it.
Yeah,
and
that's
and
it.
which is so super practical. And it's a different thing every single time. I've gone and done this at gigs, and people have actually come to me and gone, "Oh, can you tell me what drink I'm thinking of? Can you tell me what drink I'm thinking of?" And it's kind of a really it feels better. It feels better than think of a playing card. You're thinking of the 7 of diamonds. It's more relatable. Telling them the drink they're thinking of. It really is. And the other thing about it,
it's one of the routines that you do with the 2 cards that you predict somebody who's used this and then somebody who hasn't used this in some respects, and then you double reveal to the people in the audience, and the reaction is just like, there's no way that you predicted both these drinks in advance. Of how the hell did you do that in some respects? And it's so easy to do, you know, when
it's ridiculously easy. And the great thing about that presentation, and I'm going to perform that later on to give them an example of what you can do with it. The great thing about that is it justifies the reason why you're actually putting the drinks into 2 piles.
Yeah,
because you're saying, hey, I want you to think of a drink that they didn't think of. So it works really well in that regard. It really does. Yeah. And it's worth talking about that on the project. I mean, it's loaded down with ideas and routines. Like if you that routine that you said with the two cards, that's a great one to do where you're at a tape, you got a bit more time. If I'm doing walk around, a lot of the time I'll do the prediction on my phone.
Yeah.
I'll go on Amazon, and you'll see a performance of this later on as well. But I go on Amazon, I say I'm going to search for a drink. I put my phone down, and now I have somebody think of a drink, any drink. And then when I pick my phone up, I'm holding it so the audience can see it, but this person can't. And I go, "What's the drink?" And they say, and the audience reacts, and then I turn it round. No apps, no nothing, any phone. And it's so ridiculously strong that you can predict the drink that they're thinking of before they even think of it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's the one I love, and you also get this when you get all the links and everything for this that you'll have to make sure that they haven't been moved, you know, because there's not much I can do about Amazon moving their stuff around. But you get all that done for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Maybe you have to update a couple of links, but that's about it. But the thing, what I like about this is that, like in my performance bit where I'm talking to one of the guys that goes, "Well, you don't look like a top shelf guy, you know, you're not a pouring brand." And I don't understand what you mean. He goes, "But because I'm a bar owner, I know that the higher brands are this one, and you know, you're not going to go for a Gordon's." He goes, "No, I didn't go for a Gordon. You went for a Bombay Sapphire, you know, a little bit more of a premium gin, etc." And he's like, what, you know, and it's knowing, you know, your bits and bobs, and especially if you know your drinks a little bit, you can play with that as a performer of like saying, I think I did this when I was testing it out. A guy had chosen Shiraz, and I know he knows, because obviously he knows me. That's my drink that I would have. And I said, "Now, what's nice about this?" And then when I was talking to him, because I knew him, and I was going to say, "This isn't something that you would buy. You've actually bought me a drink, haven't you?" And he was like, "What? No, what?" And I goes, because I knew the drink in advance, and just having a chat with him, so you can play with it. You can take it as long as you want, or you can just go for the reveal, you know, however you want to play it. So you can take this from a very small, very quick trick if you want to, or you can take it into a nice big mentalism bit of like saying, "Well, I think you're this kind of person. You wouldn't have this in it. There's no ice in this glass," you know, all that kind of stuff. And you know, you can play with them as going it around of like you're trying to get stuff out of them, but you there's no need to get anything out of them because you already know what it is anyway. So that's the nice part of this, that you can play it as however you want, to your own personality. That's what I'd say.
Absolutely. And the cool thing as well is sometimes some tricks that involve the binary system in low light conditions, it can be a problem. But because you're dealing with drinks logos, and because you're dealing with very vibrant beer mats, and the colors can be seen from a distance, that's never an issue with this, which is you know, I mean, there's so many advantages, and you know, it's worth talking about. You mentioned the quality of the beer mats earlier. Uh, I they're designed. They're better when they've been worked in a little bit. When they're brand
Yes.
new, they're fine. But I always say to people, and we say this on the tutorial, what you want to do is you want to go and put a few drinks on this. You want to go and take it to your home and put a couple of drinks on, and just because it's meant to look like, or at least in my presentation, I say, "Hey, I went to I can't, because I don't regularly work in a bar like you." I go, "Hey, I was working at a gig the other day and I had these really cool bar mats. I nicked a few of them. They've got loads of different drinks on them. Have a look at these." And if they've got like a bit of splash of beer here or a ring from it, it makes it more authentic. I don't know what your view of that is, but I think that like the more
Yeah,
kind of work
I
and they look
personally,
better.
I want them a little bit worn. That this blue one's got some edging gone already on a little bit, because I've used these. Some of them got some edging gone. So one of them's got like a little bit of a little wet patch on them, and that's the whole point of them, that they are beer mats at the end of the day. And the only thing you know, you don't want to wear them out. Don't do the beer mat trick where it's stuck to your nose. You know, don't do that to your beer mats. Don't do those gags. Don't do the, "Oh, I'm going to find a £10 note in it," and rip open the beer mat and find a £10 note in it. Don't do that to the beer mats, but make sure they're a little bit used, you know, a little bit worn. You don't have to if you want to keep them pristine, and that's completely fine. You know, that they, if you have them, they're yours to do as you wish. But you want them to be that they are beer mats. that's what they are. They're to basically soak up the wet drink, not ruin your table. And that's what they're designed for. So if someone puts their drink down on it when you're performing it, don't get angry, don't get upset. At the end of the day, it's a beer mat. So, and that's the way it is. They're not there to be fanned and flourished and all that kind of stuff. You know, they are just normal, run of the mill beer mats, but nice solid beer mats, not they're a nice thick beer mat, not the soft cardboard ones in some respects that you can get from like a little local company that would do them for you. So yeah, they've been professionally done. I think it's what I like about it is that all the products that we've gone for is as much as that people would recognize them as much. And also as well, you will find, and what I found out so far is that there is a lot of drinks that people always go for and the other ones that they don't go for. So you will, if you perform this quite a lot, you'll notice that they will probably go for something that is
found one of the most popular drinks. A Bailey's comes up for me a lot.
It does, yeah. I have Bailey's a lot, and Bombay Sapphire is another one for me. And I was really annoyed, really, because I was kind of hoping for Guinness to be a lot, because Guinness is just like I can count that one. That one's easy. It's just done. Right, okay, don't need my calculator for that one in my head. Yeah, but that doesn't come up very often. But so if you want to, you know, when you're performing this, and you know, people, if they do pick it up, etc., and you want a little bit more, you know, engagement from them, try and say to them, say, well, you may see a drink that you like already, and sorry, you may want to see a drink that, you know, that they always go for, a popular drink. So you could, in some respects, just say to them, say, look, you know, hey, why don't you go for, you might see a drink that you always drink. So go for something that you wouldn't drink at all, that your friends would think, oh my God, I can't believe you've done that. So it gives you a little bit more like, right, I'm moving around the card a little bit more. So, but again, or if you want to, you know, you could push them to, you know, to whatever one you want to go for, but they can choose any 31. So that's the nice part of it. Any one of those 50 or 50.
And the cool thing is there's like a metric ton of material on the tutorial as well. I mean, I probably went overboard with the amount of routine.
I went on holiday for 2 weeks. You were still filming, weren't you?
Yeah, you came back and I was still there, just to camera. I think it's like an hour and a half, a 2-hour tutorial. You can learn.
Yeah, it's about 2-hour tutorial. Yeah, but they're all good, solid routines, and a nice mix of them as well, which I quite like. There's the standard routine that I use, and then there's obviously the Amazon one. There's the one that you're going to show in a little bit, and a few others. And obviously you're giving away one of your one ahead principles as well on the system as well, which is, you know, again, that's twice now you've given on my projects of helping, you've given people something that you don't normally give out. So I appreciate that, and whoever does pick it up, you're in for a little treat of Craig's one ahead system. So it's brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to take this back to the studio now, Mark, and I'm going to basically expose the trick to hell. I'm going to tell them exactly how it works. I'm going to show them the marks. I'm going to go through everything and perform a couple of tricks as well. But I just want to say it's been an honor working with you on this. I hope we can work on something again in the future, because you are genuinely a great guy. And as well as being a great guy, you're an incredible creator of magic. And yeah, you're a genius. So, and
also, I think I'm the first person to use AI for jingles. for magic
I think you were. Yeah. The trailer for this product is amazing.
To a lot of people, like going, oh, that's really quite cool. To a lot of people going, what are you doing to my brain? Leave it alone. But I quite enjoyed that. I think the year-round theme tune is nice. It's quite fun. It'll be played quite a lot soon, because I don't know when this one goes out, this interview, but this should be worldwide released on the middle of April. I'm hoping middle of April.
Yeah, I'm planning on having this come out at around about just before it gets released.
Yeah.
So I think from memory, this is getting. I think this will be going up, I think, on the 13th of April, and I think.
Okay, so hopefully, a couple of days later, it should be worldwide released everywhere. So But we're trying to we'll try and talk to Murphy's and see if they can. The date this gets released, it also gets gets released through Murphy's. But yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, I'm super excited that I love performing it. I know you do love performing it as well, and the people that have already picked it up at Blackpool are massively enjoying it. And if you're in the Blackpool area still, go pop into House of Secrets and ask the member of staff to show you the trick. So,
Yeah, and you can actually see the trick being performed there, which is
yeah.
brilliant. Love that. Mark, thank you so much, mate. You are amazing. I will speak to you again soon. Everybody go check out all of Mark's creations because he is a great guy. Go check out MB Magic Limited. And I'm going to take it back into the studio now, break down what everything is, do a couple of performances. But one more time, Mark, thank you very much.
Cheers, pal.
Okay, so you've seen the interview. You've seen the chat between me and Mark. It's now time to see exactly what this is. And you've not actually seen the performance yet. And there's about 10 different routines on the project. Anybody who knows me knows that when I release a product, I try to put as much value on there as possible. And there's about 10 routines. I'm going to show you maybe 2 or 3 routines off the project now or over the course of this video. And the first one I want you to see is kind of the main routine. So let's have a look at a performance to Rachel of the main routine first of all, and you can see exactly what that's all about. Now, we have at this point, you've seen these coasters before. I nicked them. I nicked them from a pub. Give them a mix-up if you can. As you know, there's 5 of them all together. Okay, give them a mix-up. I haven't shown you this. I nicked this from the pub as well.
Okay,
this says your round, because obviously this is going to be your round.
Okay.
I'm going to put this here. What's on the other side of this is very important, and I'll show you in a minute. But first of all, you're going to do the same thing as you have previously. So you're going to think of a drink, but don't think of Baileys. Don't think of Malibu. You can do if you want to. If you really want to throw me off, you can think of one of them. Okay. But try and think of a drink that is random.
Okay.
You got one?
Yeah.
Now, what we're going to do, before we were working out which coasters the drink was on. You're going to do that again. But what I want you to do, if your drink is on a coaster, you can throw it either way up over here, and I want you to say, your round.
Okay, right. Your round. Your round. Your round. Probably buy me a lot of drinks. Your round.
Really? Okay.
I let you off one.
Are we done?
Yep.
You sure?
I'm busted.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to buy you a lot of drinks. Now,
Yeah. Oh, I did that.
I have this here.
Okay.
This is actually a price list. It's a price list of all of the drinks that are on here. What I want you to do is look up the drink, because they've all got different prices, and just remember the price of the drink.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Okay, and then put it down here. So you're now thinking of the price of a drink, and you're thinking of a drink. What I want you to do is close your hand into a fist, and to imagine that inside your fist, you have the exact money that makes up the cost of that drink.
Okay.
I want to imagine the exact money. So, there's a coin in there, isn't there?
There is.
But it's not just a coin. There's a note in there as well, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah, and there's only concentrated magic. Look at it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really expensive drinks on here, but this isn't that expensive, is it?
No.
By the grander scheme of things, there's only one coin.
Yep.
There's one coin. There's one note.
Yeah.
The note is a £5 note.
It is.
And the coin is a £1 coin.
Yeah, it really is.
You're thinking of £6.
I am.
Because that's the cost.
How do you know that?
Because that's the cost of a Gordon's gin.
What? It really is a pink gin, can I add?
Oh, well, there you go. Gordon's pink gin.
Yeah, it's got
Sorry
pink.
for not being specific, right? So next time I'll try to nail the colour of the drink as well. I only told you how much it was and the drink you were thinking of. I mean, apparently I need to work a bit harder next time. Now, that performance that I did to her, as you can see, she absolutely loved it. And that was the 3rd time she saw a trick with these beer mats. You're going to see the other 2 performances in a bit. But basically, I did 3 performances back to back using the same method. And each time she was absolutely floored. Now, basically, what this is the binary system built into beer mats. It's the binary system built into beer mats. So if you know the binary system, me and Mark talked about it on the interview. I love the binary system. If you've seen Monsters or Christmas cards or toys or ED Seat, I use the binary system a lot. I love it. This is probably my favorite use of the binary system. And the reason is it just makes total sense. It probably makes even more sense than ED Seat because these look so much like real beer mats that you would get, real drink mats, and the way that Mark has designed these is absolutely brilliant. And as we said on the interview, there's a USA version and there's a UK version. Now, the first thing I want you to see is they're color-coded around the outside. And the color code is based on the rainbow. So it goes, Richard of York gave battle, okay? So, and each one of these has a numerical value. Red has a value of 1, orange has a value of 2, yellow has a value of 4, green has a value of 8, and blue has a value of 16. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Those are your numerical values, right? Now, it's very easy to remember this. And one thing that I talk about on the tutorial is if you want to, and I don't do this because I find it very easy to just remember what the number is when I look at the beer mats. But if you want to, and you struggle to remember what number each one is, these are meant to be beer mats that you've just picked up from somewhere, right? And a lot of the time when you go in pubs and you see beer mats or drinks mats, they've got phone numbers and stuff written on them, and numbers and amounts of money that people have written on them. So you could do the same thing with these. You could actually have written here like £1 or something, and you can have a phone number written on here. However you want to do it. If you want to actually put the numbers on here, you can do, and nobody will pick up on anything because a lot of the time you see drinks mats like this, they've got different stuff written on them. I don't need to do that, but if you want to, you can. But the color coding makes it brilliant for me because even if I'm in low light conditions, I can immediately see what those colors are, so I'm immediately going to know the number. Now, the reason that logos of drinks are better than numbers is because everyone knows the calculator cards, right? But they're not going to associate these beer mats with numbers, but the numbers are telling you everything that you need. So let's say that somebody thinks of Jack Daniels, for example, and they are remembering Jack Daniels. So you tell them to put them into 2 piles, right? So whether it's there or it's not there. So in Jack Daniels' case, it's not on that one. It is on that one. And it's not on that one. And it's not on that one. And it is on that one. So it's on 2 of them, which is blue and red. Now remember, red has the value of 1. And blue has the value of 16. So that's 17. So 17 will be Jack Daniels. So as soon as you know the number, you're going to know what the drink is. Now, I have memorized the list because I've done this so many times. I know what each drink's numerical value is. However, that's what this is. The problem with the binary system, especially when you're using 5 things, is that you need a crib. Now, different people approach cribs in different ways. If you know my ED Seat, I put a crib on a sticker which you put on the back of a credit card, which is absolutely fine, no problem there. What I love about this is the crib has actually been designed into a 6th beer mat. So when you bring these beer mats out, you put the your round beer mat to one side. And then I love, this was Mark's idea, I love that he gets people to throw the thing to them and, you know, you're round, you're round, you're round. It's really great. But the beer mat, what it is, or the drinks mat here, the you're round mat, on the other side, it's actually a price list, right? It's actually a price list. And it's from 1 to 31. There's 31 drinks on there. People think there's more. There's 1 to 31. And every 5th one is asterisked. And I know there's 15 here and there's 16 here. So in this case, you know, we said 17 is Jack Daniels. All I have to do, I know that's 15, so 16 starts there. I look at the second one down, Jack Daniels. So let's say it was 20. Well, I don't even have to count. I know 20 is in this column, but I know I don't have to count to 20 because 20 will be the first asterisk. So I go down to the first asterisk. That's going to be Bombay Sapphire Gin. These are the UK versions, right? So immediately, but this means that the crib is out in the open and you have a reason to stare at it, because after they're thinking of the drink, you can go, now this is actually a price list. And what this does is this tells you how much each drink is that are on these beer mats. Can you do me a favor? Can you look up your drink and look at the price? And all I've done is I've looked at the number. So in this case, 20 Bombo Soaps in, £8. So I'm remembering, I don't have to remember anything. I'm just remembering the drink and I'm remembering the price. And that's all I have to do. I can put those away now and it's reset. But by doing that, I can immediately tell them the drink and the amount they're thinking of. And I love saying, hey, you know, you're holding on to, in the UK, you know, Rachel had £6. I know that she's probably going to be thinking of a £1 coin and a £5 note. So I say, you're holding a coin. Is it just one coin? Yeah. And if she says there's more than one coin, I know it's going to be 6 £1 coins. But I can literally tell her what she's got in her hand. Knowing the price and telling them the price and telling them the drink is amazing. Especially when the, you know, I apparently didn't know anything. There's nothing written down. It's so cool. It really, really is. And it's the sort of thing that you can repeat over and over again. And it looks organic. These look like real things because they are. We actually had a drinks company make these up. And, you know, you want to have them a little bit battered. You want to have them a little bit out of shape because then they're going to look legit. But this is what it is. These are what the beer mats are, right? Now, I want to show you a different approach to this. This is something that I originally did on, I think, toys. This is another way of performing it using a very simple one-ahead system. Because the problem some people have with the binary system is why are you having them divide the beer mats into 2 piles? Well, Mark gets away with that brilliantly using this your round thing because he gets everyone to go. And when you see Mark do it, it's amazing because let's say if he's performing to 5 or 6 people, he'll just say, right, every time they throw that down there, I want you all to shout, you're round. And so everyone's shouting, you're round, you're round. It's a great way to get everyone involved, right? And it justifies that sorting procedure. But if you're more of a mentalist and you want to sort that, you want to justify that sorting procedure, this next way of doing it is a way that does that perfectly. Let me show you this performance. So, I have some beer mats. I showed you these earlier. Do you remember?
Yep.
I also have 2 playing cards. They're blank, though. I haven't got any business cards with me, so we're using blank playing cards.
Okay.
And a pen to write on the blank playing card. So we've got all of that. And we've got all of these beer mats. Now, I showed you these earlier on. If you remember, they've all got different drinks on them. And the last one that you actually used, you did Malibu.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have you think of a different drink this time. Don't think of Malibu. Like I said, there's about 50 of them on there.
Okay.
Don't think of Malibu. Think of a different drink. But when you've got the, you can shuffle them up and mix them up and look at both sides. And when you've got a drink, let me know. You got one?
Yep, I got
Cool.
one. I'm just having a bit of a shuffle.
No, that's fine. Now, I want Michael to think of a drink as well. But I want him to think of a drink that you haven't thought of. But I don't want you to say the name of your drink out loud. So here's what I'm going to get you to do. I'm going to get you to go through the beer mats one at a time and divide them into 2 piles. If your drink's on a beer mat, put it over there. If the drink's not on a beer mat, put it over here.
Okay.
And then what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to show whatever beer mat your drink isn't on to Michael.
Okay, yeah.
And then Michael will be able to think of his own drink as well. Okay?
Yeah.
So just if it's on, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you get it. Cool. And the ones that it's not on, put in my hand. And then that way we can... okay.
It's like really making sure it's not on there.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So your drink that you're thinking of is not on here.
No.
So Michael, I'm going to show you both sides of this beer mat.
Yeah.
Both beer mats, and I want you to think of a drink on here. I'll look away.
Okay.
Have you got it?
Yeah.
Have you got a drink?
Yeah.
Cool. So now we'll put those away. So you're thinking of a drink,
I am.
and he's thinking of a drink as well.
Yep.
And nobody knows either one of your drinks because neither one of you have said it out loud.
No.
So, okay, I'm going to use my phone just to lean on, and I'm going to start with you, Michael. So think of the drink. Don't say anything. Do you drink a lot, Michael?
No.
I can tell. You were really struggling to think of a drink, weren't you? This is coming through. Do you drink at all? No. There was non-alcoholic drinks on there, but there might not have been on.
You've never drunk this, have you?
No, I have before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. I've committed myself now. Some people, Rachel, say I should be committed. I've committed myself. What drink were you thinking of?
Jameson.
Jameson. Interesting. Have you ever had a Jameson before?
Nope.
No.
Don't know what it is.
It's a whiskey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Not a
never
whiskey
drunk. He's
drinker.
never drunk before, but he's drunk whiskey.
I have
hardcore
drunk
stuff.
before.
Oh, you
Just
have?
not anymore.
Just not anymore. Your drink. Okay, don't say anything. Concentrate. Send it to me. This is interesting. Before you went for a Malibu, you went for a drink that you drink a lot.
Yeah.
You're trying to throw me off now. I think you're going for a drink that you've never drunk in your life, or you have drunk but you don't like it. Am I right?
Yep.
That's what I thought. I'd ask you to try and taste it in your mouth, but you don't like the taste, do you?
No.
No. Okay, I think I'm committed now. Okay. So, just to recap, you thought of any drink that you wanted to,
Yep.
and you had a free choice, and you've not said it out loud. You've not told anybody.
No.
And then you thought of a drink, and before you even told me your drink, I'd made my prediction.
Yeah.
And obviously you haven't even said what your drink is, so my prediction is here. For the first time, Michael. Well, no, not for the first time with you, but can you confirm again? What was the drink you were thinking?
Jameson.
Jameson. And I actually wrote down Jameson.
No.
And what was the drink you were thinking of?
Baileys. No. I haven't tried to throw you off.
You tried to throw me off. I thought we were friends. There you go. Jameson and Baileys. So what's weird is you both thought of drinks that you don't particularly drink. So that's weird. There you go.
Okay, so that uses two people. In this case, it was Rachel and it was Michael. And it's using a one-ahead system. Because what's actually happening here is I don't even use the crib. I'm just using the beer mats. So, or the drinks mat. So what's happening is they're thinking of a drink. And when they've thought of a drink, I say, right, okay, here's what I want you to do. Go through. I want them to think of a drink as well, but I want them to think of a drink differently to yours. So go through, find all the beer mats with your drink on and put them in front of you. And then that way, this person over here can think of a drink and they'll know it's not going to be your drink. It sounds perfectly legit. Now, let's say they think of Carling, for example. So there's Carling on that one. It's not on that one. There's, it's not on that one. Carling, not on that one. And it's not on that one. So it's literally just on one of them. Well, that's easy. So two. So Carling is two. So there you go. So Carling is two. So you know Carling now. And if you don't, you can tell them to look up the price. If you haven't memorized it, you can tell them to look up the price. And you can say, look, do me a favor. Whatever drink you're thinking of, look at the price as well and think of the price. Can you do that for me? And you can tell them to think of the price, and you can obviously get a look at the beer mats, or you can have. We go through many other ways of getting that information on the project. But now, so now I know that these four I can give to somebody else, and they can think of a drink on here. So now, from the audience's point of view, two people are thinking drinks and they've not said anything, but that's completely justified that sorting procedure. So now I can bring out a card and I can use a very simple one-ahead system. Have I still got the cards here from earlier? I think I have. Yeah, no, I haven't. Oh, but I have got blank cards, that'll work. So let's say they thought of Carling and the other person thought of Budweiser, for example. So now I can just, for the first person, they're thinking of it, I'm just going to write Carling. So I'll say, think of your drink, and I'm just going to write the drink that I know this person thought of. So I'm just going to write Carling. And I put that down there, and I go, right, I've committed myself. What are you thinking of? And they now tell me I'm thinking of Budweiser. I go, brilliant. Let's try you. And now I tell them to think of their drink, and I write down Budweiser. There you go, Budweiser. And I put this one here. Now, I'm done. I can, if I want to, because I got them to think of the price, I can say, think of the price. This is not a very expensive drink. This is like £7. Is that right? Yeah, that's what I thought. And now, all I have to do is pick up, and I just bring them into my hands like this. And but you bring them this way. Say, what were you thinking of again? Budweiser, what were you thinking of again? Carling. And you've got that absolute perfect match. So that's one of the routines that we went through on the project as a way to justify that sorting procedure. If you're kind of doing more sort of mentalism and you want to kind of go down that route, brilliant. Now, my favourite way of doing it is by predicting the drink ahead of time. And I'm going to show you this performance as well. So this is the first performance I did to Rachel. Let's have a look at this one. This is how to predict a drink before they've even thought of a drink.
Thank you.
So, Rach, you and I have known each other for quite a while.
We have.
And I know you like drinking.
I do.
But I've never been out drinking with you, so I don't know what you drink. I don't know what your tipple is. But I do know that you like drinking, right?
Yep.
So I was at a gig the other day, and it was at a little pub in Bristol. And they had these really cool beer mats over the tables. And they had like drinks logos all over the beer mats. So I liberated them. And by that, I mean I nicked them. And I took a whole bunch of them. There's 5 here altogether. And they're double-sided. So there's loads of different drinks. I think there's about 50 on here. I haven't counted. And some of them are on more than one beer mat. Some of them are just on one beer mat. You know, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
Here's what I want you to do. In a minute, I'm going to have you think of a drink on those beer mats. But before you do, I am going to make a prediction. I'm going to go onto Amazon. Do you use Amazon?
I do use Amazon.
I spend way too much money on Amazon.
And me.
I'm going to go on Amazon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for something that I think you might do. So let me just do that and that. Perfect. I'll switch it off. I have searched for something on Amazon. Now, what I want you to do is take these beer mats. You can mix them up, whatever you want to. You can look at all sides. Have a look at a drink. It can be a drink that you drink all the time, a drink that you never drink. I don't really care, as long as you know what the logo and you know what the name of the drink is. But don't tell me the drink. I'm not even looking at you. Tell me when you've got it.
Okay, yeah,
Have you got one?
it.
Now,
Yeah.
I want to know how popular the drink is. So what I want you to do is go through the beer mats and have a look at both sides. If the beer mat has the drink on that you're thinking of, drop it on the table. If it hasn't got the drink that you're thinking of, just drop it over there. So we know how many beer mats it's on. I want to know how popular it is.
Okay.
Because some of them appear on one beer mat, some of them appear on 2, some of them appear on 3. I have no idea. And when you're done, let me know. Okay, but you can stack them up. So
Sorry.
that's okay. No, that's okay. It's cool. So it's on 3 beer mats, but I still don't know what they are. I have no idea what the drink is. Here's the thing. Let me just recap here for a minute.
Okay.
This is crazy, and let me explain. I searched on Amazon, if you remember, for a drink. Before we even did this, I searched for a drink on Amazon. You then went through and you thought of a drink. I know it's on 3 beer mats and it's not on 2, but that's all I know. You haven't said it out loud.
No.
You haven't told anybody.
No.
It exists in your head and your head only. I'm going to show the camera the drink that I searched for. And I'm not even going to ask you the name of the drink. I'm just going to turn this phone round. And we'll know we got it right by the look on your face. But think about this. You've never wrote it down. You've never told anybody.
And you've never been drinking with me, so you wouldn't know.
And you might have thought of a drink that, like, you don't like. I mean, I didn't, you go.
True.
But here's what I searched for on Amazon. I searched for Malibu.
Bingo! No way! You got it! That's that is what I was thinking. It had to be a drink I like. No way! Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Malibu.
How good's that?
That's so good.
Thanks.
Now with this one, you don't need a crib, you don't need anything, because what I've done is on the notes page, and you get this with the project. You actually get this list with the project as well. You just copy and paste it into a notes page. There's no apps, there's no shortcuts or anything like that. Literally on your notes page, you just have a list from 1 to 31 with Amazon links to all of the drinks that are at that number. So number 2 would be a link to Amazon to Carling, for example. And there's an American list and there's a UK list, UK-Europe list. So all you do is when you take out your phone, you already have the notes page open to the list, right? And it's just numbered 1 to 31. And you've already got that open. And then when I open the phone, I open up Amazon. I let them see Amazon. I pretend to search on Amazon, but I really swipe over to my notes page. So now I switch it off and I put the phone down here. And when I know what, let's say they've got here, they've got these three. These are the three that the drink's on. Well, I know that's 1, 2, and 4. So that's 1, 2, and 4. That's 7. So I know that's 7. So all I have to do now is I just have to, when I go to pick up my phone and I act like I'm unlocking it, all I do is, because my face unlocks it, I don't have to put a thing in. All I do is I hit the link next to 7 and it loads up the correct thing on Amazon. And I'm just holding it and I'm looking, I'm waiting for it to load up. And the beautiful thing about this is when I show it to an audience and I say, I'll have them look at it, what's the drink that you were thinking of? And they go, Malibu. And then you turn it around and you show them, everybody freaks out. It's a great way of predicting the drink ahead of time, even before they've even thought of a drink. It's wonderful. Now, there's a bunch of other routines on there, but they're all based on the binary system built into drinks mats, right? The nice thing about this is it fits into one pocket. If you want to put it in a top pocket, it's fine. It fits into a jeans pocket, a back pocket, trouser pocket, shirt pocket, jacket pocket. Fits into any pocket, and you've got them in there, and you are good to go anytime, anywhere. That's the beautiful thing about this. Anytime, anywhere, you're good to go with it. And I'll tell you, in the places I perform, not maybe kids shows, but in the places I perform close up in, you want to make it relatable. And a lot of people, they like drinking. And talking about drink is a great way to make a trick relatable. And I love the fact that everything, think about it, everything's examinable. It's all examinable at every point. It's an instant reset because there's no setup. There's no angles at all. There's no memory work because the crib does everything for you. There's a tiny little bit of maths, but if you can add like 4 and 8, you can do the trick. And if you can't add 4 and 8, you can use other methods. And this plays really big on stage. I've got a stage presentation where they're thinking of a drink. I force a drink first of all. There's a really nice way of forcing a drink. I'll quickly tell you this. So I've got a nice lead in. Malibu, ironically, is on 3 of them, right? So Malibu, is it Malibu? Yeah, no, it's, Malibu. Is it Malibu that's on 3 of them? Yeah. So Malibu is on 3 drinks, right? Is on 3 beer mats. So what you do, is it Malibu? I'm trying to remember which one it was. It's on the, it is, that's right, it's Baileys. Yes, Baileys is on 3 of them. So what you do is you have Baileys alternating with all the others. And what you do is you give them the beer mats and you say, look, I want you to take beer mats and just put them one at a time underneath and just stop whenever you want to. And they're always going to stop on Baileys, because if they stop here, they're going to get a Baileys. And if they stop here, so hang on, let's just do this correctly. Yeah, if you stop there, they're going to be a Baileys. And if they stop here, the next one is going to be, so if they stop here, the one on the bottom is Baileys. So you get Baileys every single time, right? So once they've got the Baileys, you just do a very simple touch force. So you say, look, what we'll do is we'll just do this, and anytime you want to, just say stop. And they say stop, and I just come straight down on Baileys. And from their point of view, they could have stopped on any beer mat. And I turn it around like this, and I say, look, just say stop anytime you want to. And if they say stop here, I drop it like this. And if they say stop here, I act like I'm doing that final turnover. So from their point of view, they picked any beer mat, they picked any side, and I do this, and they say stop, and I come straight down on Baileys, and I've got a little bag there with a mini Baileys bottle. So I bring out the Baileys bottle, and I go, there you go, Baileys. And they freak out. That's a really strong thing, because from their point of view, they could have stopped on any beer mat, picked any side, and stopped on any drink. And then I say, well, let's see if we can go one step further. This time, I'll read your mind, and now I get somebody else to think of a drink, and now I'm into the all-round presentation. Basically, there's so much you can do with this. The stage presentations, close-up presentations, it's very, very, very organic, and I think it's the best thing that I've ever done with the binary system, which is one of my favourite principles. So there you go. I got nothing else to say. I'm done. Like I said, I expose every single trick that I've ever brought out. This is no exception. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions that you've got about this, let me know down below. Now, obviously, you can get this from MB Magic and you can support Mark directly, or it is available through Murphy's, and therefore it is available through your favourite magic dealer. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I love this. It's not one of my biggest releases, but honestly, I perform this so much. And I'll tell you right now, at home, if you ever come around my house, you'll see that I've got these beer mats in my man cave. And when people come round, this is the trick that I'm most likely to do. If you're a social performer and you have people coming round and you like doing magic for them, this is a great way to go. So do me a favour, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, if you haven't already joined the Netrix, please do so by going to thenetrix.com. And I will see you again soon. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.